Jimmy portrayed the protagonist, the main character, who was considered as the young, angry young man, was the archetype. Example, archetype. Jimmy, the young man, the angry young man, who was fighting for the socio-economical structure of England, and he was not happy, he was very angry. One of the most important characters in 20th century drama, 20th century England, is not a heroic figure but a complex, often unlikable, utterly compelling force of nature. His anger is multifaceted, not single. We cannot say he was angry because he was having only one side of understanding or one way of understanding. He was having number of questions like class system, social apathy, personal betrayal, and he has used number of tools to change it. Talking about class system, he represents he resents the privilege of the upper classes, symbolized by Ellison, his close friend, and Ellison's family, past life of her family. He feels his intelligence and passion are useless in the society that judges him by his accent and his background. The apathy, he despises the emotional and intellectual complacency of the age. He famously rails against the newspapers, finding no good, brave causes left in the world. The favor of the Spanish Civil War, a cause for his father's generation, is gone, replaced by apathy. And his anger is deeply personal as well. He feels betrayal by Ellison's emotional betrayal and by a world that has no place for someone of his energy and intellect. And he has used certain tools. He was not brutish. He is hyper articulate. He uses his wit, his education, verbal eloquence as weapons to wound and provoke those around him, the educated around him. He needs a reaction. He needs an action. He needs any reaction to prove that someone else can feel as intensely as he does, as he feels. And it's a psychological battlefield. As you know, previously play would be dominated by plot, but here the play drama is domestic, making the conflict intensely personal and claustrophobic. Jimmy and Ellison, two of them, are the central figures, protagonists we can say. This is the core of the play. Their relationship is a violence dialectic. Jimmy's rage demands response, while Ellison's passive resistance, her ironing, denies him one he doesn't want to test her. He wants to awaken her from what he sees as her bowing upper class slumber. He loves her, but must torment her. Cliff, one of the character of this book, represents simple, undemanding affection. He is the peacemaker, the emotional, showing what a wealthy, simple relationship could look like. His decision to leave, his silent judgment on their inability to achieve this. Helena, antagonist. Helena represents the conventional moralist outside world. She sees the situation in black and white tones. Jimmy is a villain and Ellison is a victim, according to Helena. Her attempts to rescue Ellison and take her to her place. She discovers that she cannot control Jimmy's destructive energy and that the situation is far more complex than her ethics can handle. The class conflict. This is the engine of the play. This is the driving force of the play. And the war between Jimmy's working class intellect and Alicia's upper class reverse is a microcosm of the larger social struggle in Britain. Alienation, the character is all trapped by their class, by their education, by their relationship and their historical moment. They feel profoundly disconnected from the society they live in. So that was the driving force of the work. And communication is failed, like the play is filled with dialogue, but much of it is monologue. Jimmy's monologues, or silence, illusions, resistance. Genuine, empathetic communication has broken down, replaced by verbal welfare and emotional withdrawal. And as we know, it is psychological intensely. Unlike the plot-driven plays that precede Look Back in Anger is driven by psychological conflict and emotional state, the action is completely eternal. The play's success created space for a new generation of writers, playwrights. Look Back in Anger endures not because it provides answers, but because it captures a specific and powerful mood of alienated fury. And Jimmy Potter is a tragic figure. He is right to identify the hypocrisy and failure of his society, but he is utterly wrong in his methods of combining them. He destroys what he loves most in his quest to save it. The play remains a challenging, uncomfortable, and a vital work because it forces the audience to confront uncomfortable questions about class, anger, and the human need for connection in a world that often seems distinguished to prevent it. It is the moment modern British theatre found its voice, and that voice was a furious brilliance and devastating shout.